These are the 10 most badass F-14 Tomcat paint schemes. This ranking was created using the MOOCH tally, a scientific and proprietary algorithm that takes into account 4 different factors. Each factor is weighted 1 to 10. The first one is the overall look of the paint scheme on the airplane, including the low-vis version. The low-vis version is an acid test of the paint scheme without all the flash of color, kind of like whether or not a song holds up without the rest of the band. As we look at the fuselage, there's an emphasis on the design of the vertical stabilizer. The second variable is the cool factor of the squadron patch, including swagability. How does it look on a t-shirt, for instance? The third variable is the cool factor of the helmet tape job. We'll consider both the HGU 33 version as well as the HGU 55 version. And then the fourth and final variable is the cool factor of the squadron nickname and their tactical call sign. And for more on that, please check out the episode where I discuss the difference between squadron nicknames, tactical call signs, and ATO call signs. Now, before we get to the top 10, I have one honorable mention. Pretty much the definition of badass in terms of Tomcat paint schemes. It's Vandy 1 from VX4. Didn't make the top 10 because VX4 is a test and evaluation squadron, and Vandy 1 is just a one-off paint job. The look of this airplane defined badass. It was an air show machine, but like many other things in the mid-90s, along with changing individual call signs, the Fun Police ruled that a Playboy bunny on the tail was no longer authorized. And the other problem was Playboy Enterprises did not give permission to VX4 to use that logo, so the lawyers weren't liking it anyway. But in any case, this remains a signature paint scheme for the F-14. Now let's get to the top 10. All right, at number 10, coming in with a MOOCH tally of 28.4, is the VF-114 AARDVARKS. Their tactical call sign is Linfield. They get points for using a popular cartoon character and an unusual one, and having an orange stripe on the nose. The VARK looks great on both the HGU 33 and 55. The logo has great wearability. Plus, the orange theme allowed the aviators to get moto with orange flight suits. The AARDVARKS were disestablished in April of 1993. Coming in at number 9 with an MT of 29.7 is the VF-33 Starfighters. They didn't max out in the tactical call sign category because their tactical call sign is root beer. They were originally called the Tarsiers, which was believed to be the fiercest animal pound for pound in nature, but turned out to be kind of cowardly, so they switched to the Starfighters. Great nose art, affectionately called the compressor stall by air crews. Star and lightning bolt logo look great on the helmet and works on all kinds of swag. The Starfighters were disestablished in October of 1993. Number 8 with a MOOCH tally of 31 is the VF-142 GHOSTRIDERS. Their tactical call sign is Dakota, which sounds cool on the radio, not as cool as Ghost Rider would, as we know from the movie Top Gun, but it's still cool. The logo looks great on the tail, both high and low vis, and all models of the helmet. It is swag-worthy, and the squadron nickname is riff-worthy. The GHOSTRIDERS were disestablished in April of 1995. Coming in at number 7 with an MT of 32.5 are the VF-102 Diamondbacks. The tactical call sign is Diamondback. It's the only one on the list with a tactical call sign that is the same as the squadron nickname. The big snake around the globe logo looks great on the tail, especially high vis. Cool stripe across the forward part of the fuselage. 3 diamonds on the shoulder of the jet, on the drop tanks, and the helmet, as you can see here. As I've mentioned before on the channel, I was a department head in VF-102, and then the tour after that, I was the Air Wing Ops officer flying with VF-102. So I spent 4+ years in and around the Diamondbacks. So the Diamondbacks live on as a Super Hornet squadron. They transitioned from the Tomcat to the Super Hornet in early '02. They're currently permanently forward deployed with CAG-5 aboard the USS Ronald Reagan, homeported in Yokosuka, Japan. All right, coming in at number 6 with an MT of 33 is the VF-101 Grim Reapers. Tactical call sign is Gunfighter, which is right up there at the top of the cool tactical call signs. The logo looks awesome, both high and low vis, especially when the Alpha Delta is painted on the inside of the rudders, which allows the skeleton to be bigger. That logo looks great on a helmet regardless of the style, although most instructors leave their helmets taped with whatever design was used in their previous tour, which gave the VF-101 Ready Room kind of an all-star game vibe. Plus bonus points for the Grim Reapers having a great World War II heritage. The Grim Reapers were briefly brought back to life down at Eglin Air Force Base to be the F-35 training squadron, but were decommissioned a few years ago. At number 5 with an MT of 35.5 are the VF-31 Tomcatters. Tactical call sign is Bandwagon, which is kind of cool, I guess. Now, people either loved or hated the high-vis version of this paint job, which was popularly known around NAS Oceania as the Flying Pencils. I personally loved the design, and I flew with them a couple of times, as you can see in this footage here, which I shot for the first ever fighter fling video back in 1989. Like the Aardvarks, VF-31 uses a popular cartoon character, in this case, Felix the Cat, carrying a bomb. And like the Grim Reapers, the Felix logo has a rich World War II heritage. Felix looks great on all models of the helmet, and the emblem is very swag-worthy. The Tomcatters also live on as a Super Hornet squadron. They transitioned in late '06. They were the last flying Tomcat squadron as well. Coming in at number 4 with an MT of 36 is the VF-143 Puking Dogs. Tactical call sign is Taproom. I was a puking dog in the early 90s for what we call my Cat 2 tour, my Super JO tour. It's my first nuke carrier, cruised aboard the Eisenhower. We had just received F-14 A+, which were later designated F-14Bs. New jets, nuke carrier, what's not to love? Max MT points for the tail design when the Alpha Golf is painted on the inside of the rudders, which allows the Griffin, the puking dog, to be bigger. Now, 143 was originally called the Fighting Griffins. That's what that winged dog is. But during a squadron party in the 60s, one of the squadron wives said, "That looks like a puking dog." And at that point, the name was instantly changed on the spot. The emblem looks great on all models of the helmet and is very swag-worthy, not to mention a conversation starter. Puking Dogs are still around as a Super Hornet squadron, and they transitioned from the Tomcat in 2005. Now, the top 3 were very, very close in terms of their MOOCH tally totals. Coming in at number 3 with an MT of 37 is the VF-111 Sundowners. Tactical call sign Old Nick, which isn't that great. That cost them a few points. They maxed out the MT for the paint scheme, especially the high-vis version. The shark mouth defines badass. Helmet designs are great. The squadron lost a few points for the squadron emblem, which has a cool heritage but isn't best in class in terms of iconic swagability, and that's why they came in at number 3. The Sundowners were disestablished in March of '95. Coming in at number 2 with an MT of 39 is the VF-1 WOLFPACK. Tactical call sign is Wichita. First Tomcat squadron ever, and the original paint scheme remains arguably the best Tomcat design ever. The fin flash looks awesome, either high or low vis, but the high vis is iconically beautiful. Helmet designs are fantastic, and the swagability is off the charts. As documented in a previous episode, the Wolfpack had the only Tomcat shoot-down in Desert Storm. They shot down an Iraqi helicopter using a Sidewinder 3 weeks before the war ended. The squadron was disestablished in October of 1993. And coming in at number 1 with a perfect MOOCH tally score of 40, and the difference here was the input from viewers in the community tab of the channel. So thank you for that participation. You guys made all the difference for this squadron. VF-84, the Jolly Rogers. Tactical call sign Victory, which has an absolute timeless cool. Of course, this tail design was made famous in pop culture by the movie Final Countdown. For more on that film, check out my episode about it if you haven't seen that one already. But beyond that, there's something about the swagger of the skull and crossbones that makes it the perfect emblem for a Tomcat squadron. The cool factor holds up with the low-vis version, but the high-vis version, along with the awesome nose stripe, is why this comes in at number 1, no doubt. Also, the squadron's more than just a Hollywood poster child. It has a rich World War II heritage as well. Swagability is off the charts, and if you're flying this flag off your pontoon boat or RV, the party will never die. And as you probably know, VF-84 was morphed into VF-103 during the Tomcat downsizing years. For this lineup, I like to think about the classic VF-84 Jolly Rogers. And the Jolly Rogers live on as a Super Hornet squadron. They transitioned from the F-14 to the Super Hornet in December of '04. So there you have it, the 10 most badass F-14 Tomcat paint schemes. Please jump into the comments if your lineup would have been different than mine, or if you think I left a good squadron out. Remember, the MOOCH tally is science. It's not opinion. Science! All right, that'll do it for this episode. If you're a first-time viewer, please ring the bell and become a subscriber. Give me the likes and comment. Check the links below for merch and where to get the Punks Trilogy, my first 3 novels that were just re-released by the Naval Institute Press. Use the discount code PUNKYT at checkout for 25% off. If you'd like to help support the channel, please consider using the super thanks, the heart icon below, or become a patron at patreon.com/WardCarroll. And as always, I look forward to talking to you again soon.